It all started with a loud knock at the door, right after breakfast. I looked through the peephole and saw Karen, red-faced, clipboard in hand, and practically vibrating with rage. She had a gleam in her eye that only comes from thinking you have the law on your side. "Move out immediately," she shouted as soon as I opened the door. "Your cabin is in violation, and the HOA has filed a complaint." I raised an eyebrow. "Is that so?" I asked calmly. "Care to show me that complaint?" Karen waved her phone. "I've already called 911. They're on their way. You'll be evicted before noon." I chuckled. "Funny you mention 9/11. I reached into my pocket and pulled out my badge. Federal law enforcement. Active duty. My credentials gleamed in the sunlight as Karen froze mid-rant. You can't," she stammered, her voice cracking. I called the police." I smiled politely. "You did, but you're standing on private property. Property that is legally mine. And since you've threatened eviction and trespassed, I'm afraid the law isn't on your side today." By this point, neighbors had begun gathering behind their fences, watching the drama unfold. Karen, ever the performer, didn't notice the growing audience. She fumbled with her phone, likely trying to convince the dispatcher that I was the one in violation. But her words faltered when she saw me step outside with authority radiating from every inch of my stance. "Ma'am," I said calmly, "I'm going to need you to step back. You've trespassed, made threats, and attempted to misuse local enforcement procedures. You're under arrest." Karen's eyes went wide. "Arrest me? You can't." I shook my head slowly, handcuffs in hand. "I can and I am. You're lucky I'm in a forgiving mood today." By now, the real local police were arriving, responding to Karen's frantic 911 call. Their jaws dropped as they saw the scene. Karen flailing, neighbors whispering, and me holding my badge, calm and collected. One officer finally spoke up, still staring at the badge. "Sir, ma'am, can you explain?" I handed over my credentials, letting the weight of authority speak for itself. "She called 911 under false pretenses to try to evict me from my property. I've identified her violations. She will remain in my custody until you process this appropriately." Karen's face turned pale. She looked like she had been caught in a nightmare. She flailed, but there was no escaping. Every neighbor who had witnessed the spectacle nodded in approval, as Karen was carefully escorted to a patrol car, sputtering about rules and power abuse. After the dust settled, I locked the cabin door and sighed, relief washing over me. Neighbors cautiously approached, murmuring their congratulations. "Wow, she really tried to pull that off?" one asked. "She did," I said, shaking my head, "and now she knows never to underestimate who she's messing with." Later, I updated the HOA board on the incident, sending a detailed report and footage of Karen's attempt to misuse law enforcement. The HOA quickly realized that their president had overstepped in every conceivable way, and Karen was officially removed from her position. From that day forward, any threat from the HOA carried one unspoken but very clear warning. I hold the badge, I know the law, and messing with my property or my family is the absolute last mistake anyone will ever make. Karen never showed her face near my cabin again. And honestly, I didn't mind. Some victories are better when the lesson is learned silently and permanently.